Hi, this is John the Rental Guy. I wanted to make a video on how to properly use a laser level. We get a lot of misconceptions that it's some tricky phenomena. Really pretty straightforward. We're not trying to prove Euclid's fifth postulate here. It's just a pretty simple tool. Once you get it put up onto your tripod, get it as level as you can. It's a self-leveling laser level. So as long as you have it within reason, it's going to level itself. So I've got it put on the tripod. This is a standard tripod. The little knob under here, you just screw that right up into the bottom. There's a receptacle for it. You just screw that in and tighten it up. Pretty standard for a laser level. This one, you just hit the on button, and then you got to give it a few moments. It's gonna go through some calculations right now. It's gonna figure out the proper level, and then once it does that, it's gonna start emitting a beam. We'll shut the light off here in just a minute so you can see the beam that goes around the whole room. So the beam is going, and basically what this beam does, it'll hit anywhere within the room here, and what it does is it puts a perfectly level laser beam out across the entire room, which means you can use that line as a reference point. And that's essentially what this does. It gives you a line of reference. Well, what is a line of reference? Well, it's a line that'll guarantee you, if you drop a measuring tape down from that line, if you go 30 inches down from that line, everywhere around the room, you will have a level 30-inch line going all the way around the room. And why is that important? Well, if you're going to pour concrete on a floor, if you want to make sure the concrete comes up to the level, that's how you do it. So that laser beam is essentially just a line of reference that you can measure down from. So I'm going to shut the lights off in the showroom, and you'll be able to see the beam going around the room. So now what we've got is a perfectly level line around the entire room. If this was a new build and you were trying to pour concrete on the floor, you can measure down from this beam, take your measuring tape, and if you want everything to be essentially, let's say that's 4 feet down, and you want to pour concrete up to that point, you would just mark that line across the entire room. And then when you bring your concrete in, you just fill it up to that line. You can do the same thing with putting in a swimming pool. You put stakes around and get your line going. And when you're doing that, there's a receiver that goes on a stick. And this is a pretty simple receiver. You open it up and you just put it onto your stick, approximately where the line is, and then you can move the receiver up and down until you hit the line exactly. Let's just put it at the number 5 right here, and we'll turn the receiver on, power button. Okay, so the line is showing up on the receiver, but it's not coming in at the center. So we're gonna move this down until we get to right there. So if you're working out in the field and it's daylight, you're not going to be able to see this beam. So essentially what you got to do is you basically work this. That's where your beam is going to be, and then you can measure down from that. So if you were putting in a swimming pool and you wanted to have the ground exactly level in every spot, you would measure down from this spot here on the beam down to let's say you got a stake on the ground that you want to have the dirt come up to. You would do the same thing, and you could work this all the way around the room. So you can come over here And our concrete floor is pretty level because I just basically set it down into place and the beam is coming right in where it's supposed to be. So whoever poured the concrete floor in this room did a nice job. So again, you've got a frame of reference that you can measure down from. That receiver is essentially finding the beam for you, because in the bright sunlight outside, you can't see the beam. I mean, we can see it now because we shut the lights off in the showroom, but when you're out on a sunny day, you're not going to be able to see the beam. So this is how you locate the beam. It's with one of these receivers. And then again, it's the same concept. You measure down from the center, that's your reference, and you can go all the way around the area you're working and get a perfect frame of reference all the way around your project. So in a nutshell, that's essentially how to use a laser level. I hope this helped out, and we'll see you again next time.